The US and China. Two global titans locked in a dance of cooperation and competition. Over the past 30 years, their relationship has become the defining feature of international politics. We've witnessed their economies become intertwined, even as their militaries modernize at a breathtaking pace. Since the end of the Cold War, the world looked to America as the sole superpower. China, meanwhile, was quietly building its strength. Now, China's economic miracle has propelled it onto the world stage. It's no longer content to play second fiddle. This shift in power has created anxieties and uncertainties. The US, used to being at the top, is now facing a confident and capable challenger. It's a rivalry unlike any other, with the potential to reshape the 21st century. The stakes are incredibly high. The world is watching to see how these two giants will navigate their differences and shape the future of our planet. The economic competition between the US and China is fierce. For decades, China has been the world's factory floor, producing goods at low cost and exporting them globally. This has fueled China's extraordinary economic growth, making it the world's second-largest economy. However, China now aspires to be more than just a manufacturing powerhouse. It wants to move up the value chain, focusing on innovation and technology. Made in China 2025, their ambitious industrial plan aims to transform China into a global leader in advanced manufacturing, artificial intelligence, and other cutting-edge industries. The US, long accustomed to being the world's economic leader, is feeling the pressure. China's rise has led to job losses in manufacturing and concerns about intellectual property theft. The US is now looking for ways to maintain its economic edge and compete with China on a more level playing field. The economic rivalry between the US and China is closely intertwined with their military ambitions. China's growing economic might has allowed it to invest heavily in modernizing its armed forces. It's developing advanced weaponry, expanding its naval capabilities, and projecting its military power further afield. The US, with its long history of global military dominance, is taking notice. China's military modernization has raised concerns in Washington about a potential shift in the balance of power, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region. The US is responding by strengthening its military alliances in the region and investing in new technologies to counter China's growing military might. The South China Sea, a strategically important waterway, has become a flashpoint for tensions. China claims sovereignty over most of the sea, while the US insists on freedom of navigation. Military exercises and close encounters between warships from both sides have heightened the risk of miscalculation and conflict. The battle for technological supremacy is one of the most consequential fronts in the US-China rivalry. Both countries are pouring massive resources into research and development, vying for dominance in artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and other game-changing technologies. The US has long been a global leader in innovation, but China is catching up fast. Chinese tech giants like Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent are challenging American companies like Apple, Google, and Amazon in areas like 5G, e-commerce, and digital payments. The cyber realm has become another arena of intense competition. Both countries are developing sophisticated cyber capabilities for espionage, sabotage, and potentially even warfare. Cyber attacks and data breaches have become increasingly common, raising concerns about the vulnerability of critical infrastructure and the erosion of trust in the digital world. Section 5. Echoes of the Past. Roots of the Rivalry. To understand the US-China rivalry, it's crucial to delve into the historical events that have shaped their relationship. The two countries have vastly different historical experiences, cultures, and political systems. The US emerged from World War II as a global superpower, embracing democracy and free markets. China, on the other hand, underwent a communist revolution and decades of isolation before embarking on its path to economic reform and opening up to the world. The US and China have cooperated on issues like trade and North Korea in the past. However, underlying tensions have always existed, stemming from their ideological differences, geopolitical competition, and historical grievances. These historical echoes continue to influence their interactions today, adding complexity and mistrust to their relationship. Section 6. Charting the Course. China's Ambitions. China's ambitions extend far beyond simply becoming a wealthy nation. Under the leadership of Xi Jinping, China has embarked on a path to become a global superpower, challenging the existing world order. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project spanning continents, aims to enhance China's global influence and reshape global trade routes. China is also expanding its diplomatic and military presence around the world, seeking to secure its interests and project its power. China's assertive foreign policy, particularly in the South China Sea and its dealings with Taiwan, has raised concerns about its intentions. Some analysts believe that China is seeking to displace the U.S. as the dominant power in Asia and reshape the international system in its own image. Section 7. The American Response Strategies for a New Era. The U.S. is grappling with the challenge posed by a rising China. While some advocate for containment, seeking to limit China's rise, others recognize the need for engagement and cooperation on shared global challenges. The Biden administration has adopted a multifaceted approach, combining elements of competition, cooperation, and confrontation. The U.S. is strengthening its alliances, investing in its military capabilities, and working to counter China's economic and technological influence. However, the U.S. also recognizes the need to work with China on issues like climate change, pandemics, and nuclear proliferation. Finding the right balance between competition and cooperation will be crucial for managing the U.S.-China relationship and preventing it from spiraling into conflict. Section 8. Looking ahead, scenarios for the future. Predicting the future of the U.S.-China rivalry is a complex task. There are multiple possible scenarios, ranging from peaceful coexistence to outright conflict. One possibility is a continuation of the current trajectory, with competition intensifying across various domains. This could lead to a more divided world, with each superpower leading its own bloc of allies and competing for influence. Another scenario is a more cooperative relationship, driven by shared interests and the need to address global challenges. This would require both sides to overcome their deep mistrust and find common ground on issues like climate change and nuclear non-proliferation. A final and more alarming scenario is a military conflict, triggered by a miscalculation or escalation of tensions in a hotspot like the South China Sea or Taiwan Strait. While neither side actively seeks war, the risk of unintended escalation remains a real danger. Section 9. A world transformed, the global stakes of U.S.-China competition. The U.S.-China rivalry is the defining geopolitical issue of our time. Its outcome will have profound consequences for the entire world. The rivalry is already reshaping global trade, technology, and security architectures. It's forcing countries to choose sides or navigate a complex web of alliances and partnerships. The world is watching closely to see how the U.S. and China manage their competition. Will they find a way to coexist peacefully? Or will their rivalry plunge the world into a new era of division and conflict? The choices made by leaders in Washington and Beijing will determine the future of the international order and the fate of the planet. It's a rivalry with the potential to shape the destiny of humanity for generations to come.